Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here on a Saturday afternoon on Napa Fan for qualifying in the finale race of season number 9 in the NOFSRL Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Tomorrow at noon Eastern Time, it is the Mello Yello Southern 500, the finale race in Season 9 of the NOFSRL Chick-fil-A Cup Series. We will crown a champion for the 9th time in this series tomorrow afternoon. But first, we set the starting lineup and the last uncharted qualifying session of the season here today at Darlington sees Dillon Young in the 07, Mark Allen in the 08, Ashlin Boyd in the 21, Daniel Voyles in the 55, Mitchell Collins in the 57, John Andrews in the 67, Dale Salzmann in the 71, and Zachary DiLello in the number 98. Of course, in the championship, it's a 4-point lead for Nathan Baird ahead of Shane Lake, who has been one of the most dominant drivers all season long. Alexander Rowe only 24 points behind, still with a great chance at winning this championship. Silas Orta 37 behind, Samet Ozkin 46 behind, and Mark Davidson 47 points behind, all still with mathematical chances at winning the championship. The past 2 seasons, the Chick-fil-A Cup Series champion has been determined prior to the finale race. This season, we go into the finale race with 6 possible different champions, so it's going to be intense tomorrow, no doubt about it, and it's definitely going to be intense in this qualifying session because where you start is going to determine quite a bit to how well you finish in tomorrow's event. And all Shane Lake needs to do is finish 4 positions ahead of Nathan Baird because Shane Lake has the tiebreaker on everyone for his 4 wins on the year. So it's going to be interesting to see what he can do once it comes time for the race tomorrow. And also, of course, in qualifying for the Mello Yello Southern 500 in just a moment. But the premiere, obviously premiering this qualifying session here, obviously a very big race tomorrow for the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. And it will be the last race as Chick-fil-A as the sponsor of this series, or at least the title sponsor, and with, the NOFSRL kind of changing hands here. This series will officially become the NOFSRL Cup Series, and will end up bringing along, I guess you can say, premier sponsors, a lot like with what NASCAR does, and Chick-fil-A will still be involved as a sponsor in one of the series. They're in talks to sponsor the now Turkey Hill Series, as Turkey Hill sponsors the Turkey Hill Truck Series. So a lot going on in terms of sponsorship here on Napa Fan, but, it's not all real, of course, but definitely going to change things up a little bit, and definitely looking forward to what next year brings here. We're going to be using the same mod next year. Same mod, 19, or 18, I should say. We're probably going to use this mod until the next-gen cars release and a mod ends up getting released for that. So, definitely looking forward to see how it all goes down later on in the future. But next season, Season 10 of the NOFSRL Cup Series is going to be grand, and we're looking forward to it beginning in February at Homestead. Not as a points race. Mello Yello Smoothfest going to be moving to Homestead as well next year to open up the season. But the points racing will still begin with the Daytona 500 on President's Day weekend. Top 2 fastest drivers advance in this session, and right now Mitchell Collins, number 57, who won at Daytona last weekend in the Turkey Hill Series, along with the 0-8 of Mark Allen. 2 fastest drivers so far. Now Daniel Voyles moves up into that 2nd position. And this is one of those tracks where if you don't get your fast lap in early on enough, you're not going to get a fast lap at all because tire wear is very significant here at Darlington. 21 of Ashlin Boyd and Mitchell Collins in the 57, the 2 drivers advancing on at the moment. And with time almost out here in uncharted qualifying, it looks like it's going to be Ashlin Boyd and Mitchell Collins making it onto the Mello Yello Southern 500 here at Darlington. This is going to be very, very interesting to see how it all plays out in qualifying because as we've seen with qualifying on the trucks and the Turkey Hill Series over on the NOFSRL channel, those fast times come in early on in the session and we rarely get any fast times later in the session. So it's going to be interesting to see who gets the fast times in today's qualifying session here in just a moment to set the starting lineup for the Mello Yello Southern 500. Looks like it will in fact be the 21 of Ashlin Boyd and the 57 of Mitchell Collins advancing on to the Mello Yello Southern 500. No, 67 right there at the end. John Andrews getting that last transfer position ahead of Mitchell Collins. How about that for Andrews, who is a veteran to the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Ran in this series last year, a longtime veteran on Napa fan, looking to make a start for North State Racing in the final race of the season. And, of course, earlier today, North State Racing won the championship with Trey Smith in the Turkey Hill Series. We'll have to see if they can cap off the season. Actually, possibly, they got Alexander Rowe in this championship fight here. They might want to add another car into the field and maybe get a shot at Alexander Rowe winning a championship. We're just going to have to see how it all goes down, of course. Definitely looking forward to tomorrow's race, but first we got to set the starting lineup for it, and once we are done here with Uncharted qualifying, we'll get the 40 full-time drivers on the racetrack along with Ashlin Boyd and John Andrews to set the starting lineup for the Mello Yello Southern 500 from Darlington. But either way, John Andrews and Ashlin Boyd will lead us to the... or they will advance on. We're not quite there yet. They're not going to lead us to the green flag. They could lead us to the green flag tomorrow. It is still very possible, but for sure, they are going to be racing in tomorrow's Mello Yello Southern 500. And that does it for the Turkey Hill Hot Seat this year. Ashlin Boyd and John Andrews get the last two positions in for the final race of the season here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Let's bring in the 40 full-time drivers and showcase what's all going on there and set the starting lineup for the finale race here in Season 9 of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. And here we go, ready to qualify for the final time this season in Season 9 of the NOFSRL Chick-fil-A Cup Series. And we got ourselves a good one brewing here for the finale race, as Matt, who's going to be on the call with the race tomorrow, said it's going to be a lot like the 1992 Hooters 500, if you know what I mean. We got a lot of guys in this championship battle, but on the same token, we got a lot of guys retiring, a couple guys, notable guys in particular, and the biggest one, and this has been a topic pretty much all season long, is the driver of the number 4 machine, Trey Bartow, going to be his final Chick-fil-A Cup Series race tomorrow. He has raced in every single Chick-fil-A Cup Series event in the number 4, and this will be his final season as a Cup driver. He does continue to run in the Turkey Hill Series, so we're looking forward to that, but, big name moving out of the series. We're definitely going to miss Trey in that number 4 machine. Not only that, Nathan Stapleton, number 97. While Stapleton hasn't had much of a Chick-fil-A Cup Series career, moving over to a full-time owner next season here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series for NS Racing. So it's going to be his final Chick-fil-A Cup Series start, at least for the time being. I'm not entirely sure what the future will hold for Stapleton here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, but definitely looking forward to see how it all goes down for the driver of the number 97. And already, Shane Lake. And this is such a huge opportunity for Shane Lake in number 15. They brought in a special scheme for this weekend. A bit of a preview of what Velocitar Racing is going to be looking like next year. New number font, new schemes and everything. And Shane Lake obviously coming into this race with such an advantage. So much momentum coming into this event. Obviously won twice throughout the chase at Hillside and Watkins Glen. And all he needs to do is finish 4 positions ahead of Nathan Baird and get 4 points on Nathan Baird. If Shane Lake wins this race, Shane Lake is going to win the championship. This is all there is to it. And right now, Shane Lake is the fastest driver here in Mello Yello Southern 500 qualifying. I think he did hit his limit right there. Tires are going to start to wear out on the 15 machine, but he's already a 10th faster than the whole field at this point. We are still early on here in the session, and that could easily be broken, but that number 15 looking very strong so far here in qualifying from Darlington. Samit Oskin, who we did mention has a slim chance at winning this championship. He's going to need to win the race, and for the number 16 of Nathan Baird to fall all the way back. And then speaking of Nathan Baird, even he has a new scheme. So the two main championship contenders coming into this weekend with new schemes. They are ready to go in this championship fight. They've had a very respectful talk with each other. Definitely respect each other as their competitors. Obviously, Nathan Baird, you would think, would be extremely mad about what happened in Daytona, and he was upset, but he took it very well. Definitely appreciate the sportsmanship. He's going right out there and finishing, or should I say, qualifying second for the time being, right now ahead of Shane Lake. This is going to be an interesting points battle if both Nathan Baird and Shane Lake qualify up front. The number 16 currently 4th now as Chase Harris goes to the top of the board. You may have learned something when he was in the booth with us for that Turkey Hill Series finale in that number 40 machine. Great run there for Harris. Oh my! Off of turn 2, Gatlin Downey, who is looking to win the Best of the Rest championship here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, hit the inside wall hard. He got spun off, I think. Might have been by Silas Orta, possibly. Diego Yepez just went to the top of the board. And the number 88, it's been a tough season for Yepez here in season number 9. His teammate Zachary Fitzwater got one win at Gateway a couple weeks ago, and also Fitzwater won in the Truck Series for Beast Racing on Friday. Yesterday, I should say, in the Mello Yello 0200 over there. Now, got Chandler coming back out there in the number 15 machine. I believe he came down, got some fresh Goodyears, and he is going to get back out there and try to beat Nathan Baird's time right there. Baird is 5th fastest right now. Shane Lake is 13th fastest. So, you know, not a tall task at all for Shane Lake to surpass Baird in the race, but I think Shane Lake would love to do all he can to start ahead of Nathan Baird in this race. And one guy we've yet to mention who is still part of this championship battle, number 25 machine of Alexander Rowe, who has yet to even lead in the points during this chase, has an opportunity at winning the championship. Only 24 points behind Nathan Baird. If Baird and Lake fall back enough, say Baird and Lake get caught up in an accident, and Alexander Rowe wins the race tomorrow, Alexander Rowe's going to win the championship. He is right there. Doesn't have a good qualifying time right now. Currently slowest of all the guys who have gotten a full lap in. However, got some fresh tires, going to get back out there and try again. So we'll have to see what he can do in that regard. But right now, Yepez and Chase Harris with the 2 fastest times. And then the 24 machine of Andrew Miller with Silas Orta. Now, Orta is kind of in the similar boat with guys like Mark Davidson and Salmon Oskin. Orta's best shot at winning this championship is if he wins the race, which he's never won before in this series, and both Shane Lake and Nathan Baird wreck out and fall to the back of the field. It still could happen. Orta also has to surpass Alexander Rowe in the points, and then keep Salmon Oskin and Mark Davidson at bay. I don't think he's got to worry too much about Oskin and Davidson in this championship, but Orta does still come in with a shot at winning it, and if he can win tomorrow's race and Baird and Lake fall back enough, we could be seeing a very shock championship out of Silas Orta. I mean, definitely the biggest dark horse in all of this, though, is no question the number 25 of Alexander Rowe. Obviously started off the season very strong for the North State Racing Team, won the Daytona 500, and then won 3 weeks later at Phoenix, and then the world shut down. Didn't really do as well when the pandemic hit, but managed to keep that 25 in the top 10 in points. And somehow, here he is, sitting 3rd in points, only 24 points behind, with 1 race left to go. We really have not touched on Alexander Rowe that much all season outside of his 2 race victories. But here he is, looking to steal it here in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Still, the slowest driver of all the guys who have completed a full lap under speed. Tristan Allen has yet to get out there with a full lap, but he's going to get one right here. And he's got a clean racetrack to do it, as well as Yepez still holds the fastest time here in Mello Yello Southern 500 qualifying, with Chase Harris, Andrew Miller, Silas Orta, Nathan Baird, Eli Bright, and Trey Bartow. I want to show off his last ride scheme. I didn't do much to it. If I can find him on the racetrack. There he is. We're going to try to get a good view of this whole thing here. It's not much. I know that much. It's not that much. All I did was take the Mobile One logo and put one last ride on there. But you know what? I wanted to do something. There's the rear of it right there. We're definitely going to miss Trey Bartow. No doubt about it. And I might not shut up about it tomorrow. But you know what? That's just the way it is. Trey Bartow has been such a huge part of this series. And another wreck, and that's the 24 and the 3. And we're just going to pretend none of that's happening because it really doesn't matter in terms of where these guys qualify. As long as everyone's gotten a full lap in, and they have. Tristan Allen going up to 32nd. Alexander Rowe, currently the slowest guy out there. Going to be interesting to see how that all goes down. But either way, like I said, you know, we're really going to miss Trey Bartow, and he's actually in a very good position. Landon Smith Jr. won the Mello Yello 250 earlier today from the 7th position. Now, granted, this is a race that's twice as long in length, but Trey Bartow's starting right there in 7th, just like Landon Smith Jr. did earlier. Cameron Garlington in 8th, Sebastian Kukulon in 9th, and Mark Davidson rounding out the top 10 so far here in qualifying. Still got a little time left, and we may see some of these guys get those fresh tires in. Of course, it's really difficult to get a full lap under speed in when you have all these other guys on the racetrack, which is hence why we had that big accident there. I'm not expecting it to be a wreck fest tomorrow. It could be, but I don't think it will be. I don't think it's going to be like the Turkey Hill Series race was earlier today. I think it's going to be a little bit calmer. We do have the strength down 1% compared to Turkey Hill for these guys, and in testing, we've gotten maybe like 1 caution each race. Now, obviously, things can get a little wild out there. Darlington's a very interesting track in terms of wrecking. You don't seem to get it all that often, but we're definitely looking forward to see how it all goes down in tomorrow's event. But either way, one last ride for Trey Bartow. It's been a tough season for Bartow, but he has come on strong a little bit as of late. As a matter of fact, he's gotten 7 top 5s this season. And Nathan Baird, who's leading in the points, has only gotten 5 top 5s this season. Trey Bartow has more top 5s than our possible champion does. So it's interesting how that works out. He had a lot of races, though, this season, especially, when we came back from the pandemic there. That was not a good stretch for him, and he wrecked out a lot in the middle part of the season. That's why he missed the chase. He was at one point last in the points here, comes in 28th in the points this weekend. But hey, one last shot at a race victory in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series for Trey Bartow. One in the Turkey Hill Truck Series at Daytona last weekend. Had a solid run in the trucks yesterday. We'll have to see what he does tomorrow in the Mello Yello Southern 500. But the big story, Nathan Baird and Shane Lake. Shane Lake still 13th, but he is tied with Nathan Stapleton, which means that Shane Lake will start in 12th if they stay in those respective positions. And Nathan Baird going to be starting in 5th. They're going to be right on each other up there in the front. Alexander Rowe, who came in 24 points behind, looking to start last. But it is a long race, 74 laps of action here at Darlington. And a lot can happen between the start and the finish. So we could still see Alexander Rowe pull one out of the hat. And we're just going to have to see if that's the case. But the way it's looking, it's going to be a battle between Baird and Lake, as we all thought going into this thing. Lake the challenger, Baird the champion, looking to get his 2nd straight Chick-fil-A Cup Series championship. It was this place last year where he won it, only that time it was 2 races before the season ended. This time, it is the last race of the season, so we're going to have to see what he can do. This is how they line up. Diego Pez and Chase Harris will lead us to the green flag for tomorrow's Mello Yello Southern 500. Andrew Miller, Silas Orta. Orta with a shot. If Baird and Lake fall back, they wreck out of the race and Orta wins. He could win the championship. But Nathan Baird, they're starting in 5th. Eli Bright, Trey Bartow, Cameron Garlington, Sebastian Kukulon, and Mark Davidson, the top 10. And then you see Shane Lake there tied with Nathan Stapleton. Shane Lake will start in 12th for tomorrow's Mello Yello Southern 500. Might not be the best thing for Shane Lake to start in that outside lane. We're just going to have to see how it all goes down. Mark Davidson will actually start in the 9th position as he also tied with Kukulon. Davidson has more points in the championship. Alonzo and Brad Stover also tied, and Alonzo will have the tiebreaker between Brad Stover because Alonzo is in the chase. Jesse Turner, Nick One has him also tied, but Turner gets the tiebreaker because he is in the chase as well. And Alexander Rowe, only 24 points behind coming into this race, will be starting in last. But it is one of the longest races of the season. 74 laps here at Darlington. A lot of time to work your way from the back to the front. It's a difficult place to do so. However, if the cards play out in his favor, he could possibly steal this championship away. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching. Tomorrow at noon Eastern Time, it is the finale race in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series Season number 9, the Mello Yello Southern 500, and Diego Yepez will lead us to the green flag for the final race of the season. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you guys tomorrow for the finale race, and I will see you guys later.